Yeah.
Alright, so I brought us up here today to have a little chat about talent, what it is, what it isn't, mostly just opinions. We're just flying by the seat of our pants right now. We got about like 10 minutes until we got to get off the mountain.
It's like 7 minutes.
So I have a theory, Alex.
Yes.
This is how I want to perceive talent. This is how I think it would be a healthier way to think about talent. I believe that it's like a balance between two things, needs and wants, and like having fun versus the need to create. So basically, check this out, right? A talented person to me is a person that needs to create, but only wants to have fun. Fun is secondary, but the need to create is there. And so they just make shit, right? So whether they're good at it and they're having fun, blah, 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 like frustration is like secondary to, I just gotta make shit. And so because of that, they get more practice. And because of that, they appear to be good and talented. Versus the average motherfucker needs to have fun and only wants to create. Do you see what I'm saying?
Kind of. I think so. I mean, I don't think the average person that makes shit for the sake. You know, actually, I guess you're right. Because, like, yeah, I think that need or, yeah, like, I would say need. It's not even a desire to make something is so important, right? I don't have that for shit. But, like, my girlfriend, for example, she has it, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, if she didn't have a camera, she would, like, pick up a pencil. If there wasn't a pencil, then she'd start digging up dirt and trying to make, you know, something from clay and shit. So yeah, I think that's a good baseline for what talent, or I mean, it's definitely like a component, foundational part that's necessary to create something known as talent, maybe, you know.
So I guess like the only reason I want to make that distinction is just because I feel like a lot of people are looking for talent or wish they were talented. And I think the better question would be like, do you need to create or do you only want to create? You see what I mean?
And half of that's because of clout right now.
Right.
You can literally make anything and everything like 5 minutes now. And I feel like there's so few new ideas. And it's something that everyone's been saying since the dawn of time, where it's just like, you know, everything that has been done, you know, has been done. Everything that will be done has been done. So just remix it, right? Because, like, right. I mean, if you look at professional creatives and like the main difference between them is one can make stuff for people that can't and the other can't, right? And I think that's like a huge differentiating factor, and that has nothing to do with talent. That's just discipline, I think.
Right. And I think that's the other thing, right? Like, I think a lot of times discipline looks like talent because a lot of people don't have discipline either.
Discipline might be the best talent that you
honestly,
that you
I feel like discipline is the talent, really. If you can just get in there consistently, then you're good.
Yeah, I would say so. Discipline, probably is one of the biggest talents you could have when being a creative, I think, because otherwise you just get, you know, the moment shit gets hard, you get bored of it, or you're gonna switch to something else. And
exactly.
I think people without talent assume that talented people can do the thing that is that they're talented at like the drop of a hat. Like, oh, they learned this thing, they did it right away. It's like, oh, they must be talented. It's like, well, I mean, maybe, you know, to a certain degree, but also like maybe they're just willing to put in that extra little bit more effort, because people very rarely show their fuck-ups.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Even
especially
talented people.
Especially talented people, because they're making so much shit. Why would you show the shit part when you can just show the parts that you are satisfied with?
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, I feel like that's the biggest thing, is like if you can rearrange in your head that sort of like want versus need, which one do you need more, right? Do you need to feel good about it in this moment? Do you need to feel good about your skill level, where you are in society amongst other artists or creators? Or is simply making shit and making good shit important to you? If that's what's more important to you, then I feel like you'll come out on top eventually. And then like talent, as in like your actual aptitude towards actually doing that thing, all right, like that's a kind of a different thing entirely too, but I feel like you would gain it. You know, all skills are learnable if you're willing to put in that time, and if you're willing to put instant gratification to the side, which is where I come back to that like need to have fun versus only wanting to have fun. But if you don't have fun, it's cool as long as you create. For the sake of time, we're going to make our way back to the station now and shoot at a different location, probably, I guess, maybe. What are we talking about?
Yeah, what were we talking about? I know we were talking about talent, yeah.
Sorry, y'all. We just climbed a mountain.
Kinda.
I mean, it was really just some steps. You'll see it in B-roll. Yeah, talent. So...
Do you have talent?
if talent is how I just defined it, which is like a need to create over a want to have fun, then no. And that's why I'm making this video. Do you have talent?
I think I do, but not enough of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's disheartening when, like, let's say you put in like 10, 20, 30 hours into a piece and it gets, 5 likes, as opposed to a shitty, like, deep fried meme that you made and it gets like 1,000 likes. And it's just like, wow, why am I? Because, like I told you, like, I was like tracing people's pictures as portraits, and just simplifying them. And I told people, like, I trace your picture, like, that's what this is an illustration of. And they were like, yeah, cool, $50. And I did that like a lot, and it was really disheartening.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would say I have a strong want to create. I have a lot of things I want to create. You know? But that overweighing, like, how long it would take, how hard it would be to make, how hard it would be to make to the quality that I want to make it. All of those things, like, always outweigh for me. And I feel like that's, like, the main defining characteristic.
And none of those things have anything to do with whether or not it's, like, popular.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't care about what people think. And, like, as you get older, I feel like you don't. But you still do,
I think you do more than ever, but it's just, like, you like, suppress, like, consciously realizing that you're doing it all the time. Yeah. I know that's me. Like, even walking around here. All right, so it's October 2022. We're in Japan. Japan just opened back up after COVID and all that, right? He lives here. But the mask situation, I ain't talking Jim Carrey. This shit is wild, though. It's wild just like Jim Carrey, though. Everybody's got masks on. But in America at this point, if you are following the fucking calendar, like, we pretty much have moved on, right? Like, hey, if you're vaxxed up, or even if not, just say you are and walk around without a mask.
I think America's attitude's bad in the sense that it's like, well, if it gets you at this point, it's on you. Kind of is like the attitude, which is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
But I feel like a lot of the world is like that. However, being out here, though, like, you see everybody walking around with a mask on, and you can't help but, like, just, I feel weird, like, not having it on. What are people going to think about me? Oh, dirty American, fucking nigger. they
Goddamn.
They don't know that word, but they're thinking it, though.
They're thinking it.
It's in their mind somewhere, and I'm always afraid of that. Like, what am I going to look like to them? And same with, like, talent and, like, things that get in the way of being talented.
I get what you're saying. I don't think they're the same, but I get what you're saying.
No, like, that sort of feeling of just, like, like,
people are looking.
I want to do this thing, but, like, what are people going to think of me if I don't do it as well as person A, B, or C? What are they going to think of me if I try it and, it's
and
like...
don't succeed.
Yeah, I don't succeed, or somebody else has done something really similar.
You just look cringy, right?
Yeah.
No one wants to be cringe.
But, that's the thing, right? I feel like truly talented people, that's, like, the last thing really on their mind. Mm-hmm. Like, they might still be thinking about what, like, gets views, but they're not going to let that stop them from making the thing they want to make.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, they end up creating a whole new taste entirely. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you don't even need talent to do that. You just need to not give a fuck. Right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you have to have something creative in the tank to actually make something that people want to, like, copy. But the only way that you can even see if you have that is to make something in the first place. Yeah,
that's true.
And if you don't even get to that step, then...
There's so many good artists that have, like, less than 1,000 followers that will just blow up one day. And then there's a lot of them that don't, We're in a weird time.
I feel like, in my mind, the people that are talented, in the same way as, like, need to create over want to have fun, I think it also is, like, need to create over a want to be original. I feel like it's kind of a weird, backwards way of thinking, but I feel like in acknowledging that you can't truly be original and just being okay with that and putting out things that are inspired by the things you like.
That's the fastest way.
Right? That's the fastest way.
Everything's a remix, man. Ain't no one fucking making new songs like shit. Yeah, I think that's so true. Yeah, all these kids that get hung up on, like, this is my OC and this is, like, this is Sonichu.
Right. How can I find my style? Like, that's, like, a common question. How can I find my style? What brush do you use? And it's like, like...
Bro, it ain't the brush. I use the round brush. It's like, what?
yeah, right? Always. It's always like
always
that.
The round brush.
And I think, the faster you can get over, like, that need to be original and just
make cool shit.
Make whatever is cool to you repeatedly.
I regret stopping, like, tracing when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, when you're really young and you start you know, everyone starts drawing somewhere, and a lot of kids start by tracing. Then all the other kids, well, that's tracing. That's not like good. There are a lot of things you can learn from tracing.
Honestly,
you know?
like if you read the interview of any mangaka or artist or whatever, oh, how did you learn? Oh, well, I got my start reading, you know, of course, Dragon Ball, Fist of the North Star, and I just used to copy Goku, and it's like, that's literally everybody. Like that's
How do
literally
you draw
all of them.
environments and people so well? You know, my assistant.
Yeah, no, they literally have a folder full of like stock photography that they just trace off of and
Yeah,
put screen
ain't
tones
nothing
on.
wrong with it. Fuck it.
You know, and if they don't have that stock photography in the cabinet, they go shoot and add it to the cabinet.
Yeah.
Like it's not really.
I mean, don't straight up bite and then change colors and say it's yours. But you know,
right.
anyone that's not an idiot won't do that. So
Because sometimes it's like, you know, like you don't have to create everything by scratch to be a creative person or a creator. You know, like it's really
I
about
bet
making the
you.
thing.
Was it Shigeru Miyamoto that made Mario?
Yeah,
I bet you he just traced over his, you know, Mario, his own design, and then just stretched it without holding shift in Photoshop. He's like Mario, Wario. There we go.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that mumbo wumbo shit in SpongeBob. And this, he likes money.
Actually, you know, Nintendo's a great example. They hadn't made anything actually truly new. Okay, I take that back. Like
Yeah,
Splatoon,
be careful with that shit.
Splatoon and ARMS, like I guess, you know. But
Boo.
otherwise, Mario Kart is Mario Kart. You know, a Mario game is essentially a Mario game. You jump on top of things to kill them. The end, like you know, like that's pretty much it. There's just like a new spin on it. Metroid, literally just Metroid. You know, Zelda, literally always basically the same shit, except like remixed in how you do it, how you traverse the world. Is it like top down, or is it open world, or is it stage and like
Can't wait
level
for
based?
Breath of the Wild too, or whatever it's called.
But like they haven't made any. They don't push themselves to try to make new things that are not them. They just make what they're good at.
These are the Japanese character for Dokuso. This is a term which has guided Nintendo since the early days of the company. In English, it means creating something unique.
What's your favorite Japanese word?
Dokuso.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because you were starting to lose me when you're like, they don't make anything new. I'm like, yo, you gotta be careful with that one. But
No, yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, no, I think they more than anyone recognize how difficult it is to make a new IP. Therefore, they're like, look, we know we like Mario. How about Mario goes on a picnic or to the fucking aquarium? Like, actually, that would kind of, you know what, make Animal Crossing Mario. I'll fucking play
Yo,
that.
hold up, Mario with like a Donkey Kong like underwater music.
Yeah, exactly. That is Mario, dude.
Oh, I'm not a Nintendo fan, as you can see by the beginning of that rant.
You don't approve?
But I mean, no. Seriously, to Nintendo's credit, like they recognize the value of their brand, and it's not in pushing the envelope all the fucking time. Like, and therefore they don't devalue their brand. Whereas, like, you look at I don't know, Microsoft, right? Gears 5. They don't even want to call it Gears of War anymore. Like they're just like, oh, we got to rebrand it, man. We got to like drop the war.
We gotta rebrand it as a very peaceful game.
gotta-
The war in the title was the fucking issue with that game.
No, we got to rebrand it. We got to get hip with the kids, you know, because all the kids just call it Gears anyways. And it's like, who, what kids?
Who's playing Gears of War in 2022?
But like, you know, or Sony, you know, like sometimes they have a hit, you know, sometimes it's cool, like I guess like a Returnal, but then sometimes it's like just kind of whatever, like PlayStation All-Stars.
Returnal was Enter the Gungeon, but like 3D, right? Is it
Yeah,
that
I
one?
guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and the Enter the Gungeon's better.
Case in point.
yeah. Just because it looks pretty doesn't mean it's good.
And that's the other thing, right? Like they stand by like, hey, we don't got the best performance, but we're going to do what we can within these limitations, and we're going to just hope that people are okay with it.
So
until-
as a company, you'd say Nintendo is talented.
I would say so, honestly. I mean, can you really say otherwise? I mean, like, the Pokemon Company and Game Freak aren't, but they're not.
Yo, when they made that Pokemon, that was just a set of keys. I said someone needs to get fucking fired, man. Or the electric Pokemon is like electric ghost. It turned Rotom. You know about Rotom?
Yeah.
Fucking turns into a goddamn washing machine.
Yeah.
It just makes whatever like kitchen appliance orange. I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, damn.
it's birds, man.
No, that's not a.
Oh, you know, that's the cable rubbing up against the tree. Oh. Well, let's go. It's cold.
All right.
Let's move again.